If you're an AFTV regular, you would have seen us rocking these brilliant Sanucci officially licensed pendants here representing Arsenal. They also do them for several other teams, so make it out. But you know what they got? They got a brand new range which is on fire. The new Sanucci rings. Love it. Check the link in the description to get your Sanucci range right now, and you know the best ones are the Arsenal.
Hey everyone, welcome back to AFTV. Welcome to the Starting 11 show. Arsenal are playing their first Premier League game in 2 weeks. It's a chance to respond after what happened against Man United. It's Brentford away today, midday kickoff UK time. Before we go into anything, this show is brought to you by Sanucci. Go check them out. They do Arsenal pendants, stuff for other clubs as well. The link is in the description below. But why talk about it when we can show you? Because Charlene and Robbie looking good with them.
Iced out, baby.
It goes really well with the away kit.
Matches.
It goes really
Ring
well.
as well. They do these Arsenal rings, which are quite nice as well.
I like the little diamantes in the top as well that go around top
like
and bottom.
No, they're really cool. Lee's got the cannon, he said. I think that's the kind of thing.
I like the Canon one,
Yeah,
I've got the Canon one as well. So yeah, big up to Sanucci, man. Thank you for hooking us up.
Icing us out.
Yeah, link in the description if you want to get yours, man. And I'm looking forward to the game.
Yeah, absolutely. Now let's go get 3 points down. How you feeling, mate?
I'm quietly confident, mate.
Well, that's good.
Which is a good start. I feel personally like this is a big game for the fact that we need to bounce back. And I've not seen this team bounce back. Last season, we lost like 2, 3 little bunches we keep losing. So for me, it's the chance for us to prove we can bounce back, mate. I think the Old Trafford defeat was disappointing in the way that we lost because I think we showed a little bit of naivety. But I think it's time for us to bounce back. I think we're going to see what this mentality is like with this side and how much we have improved now under Mikel Arteta. Because if you think about it, last season, first 3 games were losses. Then we went on a nice little run, another few losses. Then another little run, another few losses. So, can't think of one opportunity last season where we lost the game and bounced back. There ain't one, because we went on and lost a couple. I think Man City, when we lost at them at home, we ended up drawing to Burnley, couldn't beat them again. So, there's so many last season that we had like this. This is an opportunity to prove people wrong and say, do you know what, we might have lost at Old Trafford, now we bounce back. Go into an international break and North London derby, man. So.
Completely agree. Robbie, do you share the confidence going to this game?
I do, yeah. I think the one thing about the Man United defeat is that we played well. You know, all right, you know, defensively, maybe we didn't play well, you know, with the goals, but we were an attacking force in that game, and I felt that, you know, we should have won that game in my books. You know, I think, you know, but it wasn't a bad performance. You know, I mean, you didn't come outside the stadium. I remember I was at the game. And when I was speaking to fans afterwards, there was nobody really saying, oh, what a horrible performance, what's going on, blah, blah. Everybody was like, the performance was good, just a little lapse, you know what I mean? So, and I think this is a different game to when the last time we went to Brentford. You know, I was at that game, it's horrific, you know, the way we lost that game. But I think Mikel Arteta said it yesterday, he's all right. It's a bit of a different Arsenal now. And if everybody's fit, that's the thing. You know, we've got a very, very good side, and I think different propositions, people like Jesus up front. I remember the last time we went to play Brentford, you know, is following Balogun up front, you know, a very inexperienced player at that time. So, yeah, I'm confident that, you know, I think it's going to be a tough game. It's Brentford. I think these type of teams like Brentford, yeah, they're the type of teams that if you're not up for it, you'll lose. Right, so you've got to match their work rate and commitment, and you saw that Man United game when they beat United 4-0. United didn't match it, and they got turned over. They'll be similar today. They'll be pressing. They'll be on us, but you know, I think we've got enough to win the game, and I'm with you, Dan. I'm confident, and you know, we need the win. And you are right. And remember, we was looking at that crazy stat the other day that Arsenal literally either win or lose. We don't really draw games, you know what I mean? But I'm confident that we're going to get a win today. I really am.
Yeah. Hope you're right. Charlene, last year, and I want to actually compare the 11s in a little bit, but last year we went into this game starting with White and Mari at centre-back. Mari, who now isn't in the squad, Ben White, who was making his debut, £50 million signing at the time. You've now got White competing at both centre-back and right-back. Gabriel's fit, well, I was about to say fit and firing. Some questions over his form, but I like him a lot. And you've got William Saliba. So when you've got threats like Ivan Toney, do you feel more comfortable than ever that we can actually maybe deal with a player like him?
Ivan Toney's a handful. Let's not deny that at all. Do you know what? Gabriel, I really do like him, but sometimes he can be a little bit shaky, which is a little bit concerning. Obviously, we've got Saliba now, who is quite solid as well. But with Gabriel, you don't know what sort of game he's going to have. When he first signed for us, he was consistently performing, getting Player of the Month, you know, and doing well. He was solid. But now he seems a little bit shaky. So I'm hoping he is going to be on form today, because not only have you got Tony, you've got, is it Mwembo?
Yeah,
I can't pronounce his name.
Yeah,
He's a handful as well. Another player that we need to watch out for. So our defence line needs to be solid.
I'm glad you focused on Ivan Toney. I've got some numbers here. Yes, it's early in the season. What's this, game 7, I think? But he scored 5 goals for Brentford, ranks first there. 15 shots for Brentford, ranks first. 2 assists, joint first, and he's also played the joint first most amount of minutes for Brentford with 540. Pretty much hasn't missed a single minute for them. He's been absolutely crucial for them, Robbie.
You've got to stop him, innit? That's the obvious thing there, right there and then, is that, you know, you're going to have to stop him. Because he's a quality player, his confidence is high, he just made it into the England squad.
Yeah, true.
You know, confidence is flowing through his veins, you know. So, as I said, they've got players they've got to stop from us as well. And that's the beauty of this game, right? In that, as I said, you know, last year attacking force-wise, we were very light going into that game. I feel that this game, you know, with Jesus, Martinelli as well, who's been playing really well, you know, Saka, we've got a lot of things to keep them busy as well. You know? And hopefully, you know, I mean, it's going to be all on who's fit. You know, is Thomas Partey going to be fit enough to start the game? If he is, that'd be great news for Arsenal. These rumours about Odegaard missing are a bit worrying, because he's been key to a lot of the great stuff that we've been doing. So, you know, I'm really interested to see what the starting 11 is going to be.
Yeah, me too. I want to ask you, Dan. I remember you being, I think it was it Supporters Club, when you were talking about humble pie in the oven and all that. And but listen, it was tongue in cheek. You know, it was fun. It was interesting, sort of how Arteta, and you know, now it's starting to come together a little bit more. People are starting to understand maybe a little bit more of what he wanted to do. But have you seen? And I think it's a fair question. I'm going to put up some numbers in a sec that, you know, might support why people still doubt a little bit. But have you seen enough change? And you know, you talked about bounce back. Do you need to see a bounce back today to be able to show, okay, that's a blip, United, rather than kind of true to form, which we've seen under Arteta, the highs and the lows coming in kind of in bunches, if that makes sense?
100%, mate. That's why I said at the front of the show, I think this is important today, because it's a bounce back, and obviously what we saw yesterday with Man City and Tottenham, at the moment we're fighting at the top of them. So if we win today, it doesn't matter what happened yesterday. Do you know what I mean? You always got to win your games, James. And for me, what I need to see more from this side is how is it maturing? Because it's a young side, it's a process, a young manager, young side. I need to see what we're doing in terms of our development and our maturity. And I think against Manchester United, we were naive. And I think the manager was naive as well, thinking on 3 subs when we hopefully could have got back into the game. And that just killed it for me. So there's been mistakes still. I personally would change the team a little bit today, which I'm sure we'll come on to. But I think when you look at what Brentford have got, we're going to look at Brentford of last year, and we're going to remember that. And it's going to give some people PTSD. Now, they're going to be, they were bullying us last year, right? It's a completely different Arsenal for me this time. I don't think we are a team that gets bullied anymore. So I think when you look at what Bournemouth tried to do to us with people like Billing and Kiefer Moore, they weren't getting anywhere because Saliba was there, Gabriel was there.
Do you remember that game against Bournemouth, right? If you remember. Sorry, not Bournemouth, against Brentford. They just kept putting long throw after long throw
100%.
after. And what they actually did in that game is they switched their tactics and they went long. They didn't really try to play out from the back and that. They just went very long, very direct. They changed up their style of playing for us, and we couldn't cope with it.
But when we had, you know, Leno had no command of area in that sort of situation at times. Rob Holdings, Ben White, who aerially I still have question marks over. Pablo Maria, as you mentioned, completely different side now. So they did that because they probably thought this is the only way we're getting through Arsenal. And you know, when I look at players like Norgard, they've got Ivan Toney and Mbeumo. They've got players at the back now, Ben Mee, players like that. It's going to be physical today, but I feel more confident if Partey's fit. Partey, Gabriel, Saliba, Ben White or Tomiyasu, whoever's going to be there. Aerially, we've got some players there now. So,
yeah, it's true. I think this is a big match for Arteta. The reason I say it is because I've got here his record, the 43 games we've played in the league since Brentford, and the 43 games before. Now, if I just bring up those numbers, in the 43 games, defeats, less draws, more wins. Great, the trajectory's good. But that's where I think Arsenal fans are looking at this kind of game, and it's not a draw isn't the end of the world, right? It doesn't end our season or whatever. But it's almost a sign of, another 120 million spent or whatever. Have we progressed as much as we want? It's still a young team. But the raw numbers in the 43 games since and the 43 before would suggest, okay, listen, 7 more wins is a lot. That's 20, I'm doing bad maths, 7 times 3, 21.
21.
Yeah?
21.
My maths is awful. That's 21 extra points, right? That's a lot. That's a lot. But at the same time, is it, it's still 13 defeats to 15. We just need to see Arsenal putting together a real run in the league now, don't we, Robbie?
Definitely, and away from home as well. Last year was where we fell down badly. We got to fix that away form. But this season we have been doing that. Apart from I'm always going to describe it as a blip, right? And it will only be a blip if we win today against Man United, because away from home, we've been all right. We won our last game away from home in the Europa League. I know much changed team, but we won that. Away from home, we've been all right so far this season. We've had tests away from home. I go right back to that Crystal Palace game, massive test, bit similar to this one. So these games we've got to overcome. If we're going to get into the top 4 this season, these are the games that we have to win. We have to go away to Brentford. We're a better side than Brentford. We don't disrespect them. They've got good players. But we are a better side than Brentford. We should be going there and beating them. It's as simple as that. If Arsenal turn up and, as I said, at least match the intensity of Brentford and the work rate, and we should win because we've got better technicians.
Yeah.
It's as simple as that.
Abdikani says this game needs physical players because Brentford have good physical players. And then Simon says Tomiyasu should be playing right back instead of White. Don't understand it.
You were saying, wasn't it?
You go for Tomiyasu?
I'll go Tomiyasu today.
Tomiyasu?
I think I'd stick with Ben White. What's he done wrong?
He's done nothing wrong, and that's the thing. It's not about that, though, is it? It's not about.
Why not? Because they do say
rubbish.
keep a. You've got a team.
They do, but the reason I go Tommy is I don't think we've got anybody really as good as him, and they're going to have some. We've just said they're going to have some threats today, and I would go Tomiyasu. I still have question marks over Ben White aerially, if I'm honest. I think he's got better. Not got much worse, to be fair to him, but I think with Tomiyasu, I think that's the one to go for. I was really impressed with Tomiyasu on Thursday night. I know it was against Zurich, but I would go Tomiyasu today. And it might be a bit harsh on Ben White, but that's what we want, innit? That's what we want.
No, it's great competition for places, but why change it if Ben White, I think he's been doing well this season.
Listen, I think he's been great.
Me, I think going forward he's a little bit better than Tomiyasu.
I think he's better going
He's
forward.
He's a bit technical, more technically on the ball. I love Tomiyasu, but we're going into an international break, and the 5-sub thing, I'd start with White. I wouldn't change it, personally.
Charlene, Tomiyasu, White.
I do like White, but I think I'd start Tommy. I think Tommy's just a bit more solid defensively as well, so I'd bring Tommy back in to start.
That's really interesting because Tomiyasu, to be fair, I don't think was fit for Palace, but I think we had similar concerns about White at right back and the physicality and up against Zaha. But what Arsenal did well, I know for a lot of the game, actually, we didn't have the ball, we had to defend, and White did that part of the game very well. But the reason we started so well that first 20 minutes was we had our best technicians in the team, and we kept the ball brilliantly. So I can't imagine Arteta is thinking we're going to compromise for Brentford, which might be their naivety again, it might be their oversight. But
then are we getting too carried away with this?
Yeah, this is what I'm saying.
Trying to say, Brentford, they're physical. They're not just physical. They, in the game against Manchester United, they actually moved the ball around well. But what they are, I think, rather than physical, I think they're aggressive in how they play. So, Ivan Toney's not that tall. I think there's the thing where they say he's just under 6 foot, isn't it?
Is he?
Yeah, he's just under 6 foot.
He's actually 5'11", yeah.
Yeah, he's just under 6 foot,
Unbelievable.
but he's an aggressive player, the way he plays in an aggressive way. So that's what, but he's not, when we talk about physicality and stuff like that, he's not like he's 6'6".
Comparable to Gabriel Jesus, who's not 6'4" or whatever, and he's still
he's like
he
5'9",
wins his aerial duels. He's a nightmare.
And he's
for
another guy,
defenders.
isn't he? He's a very aggressive
Yeah.
in his play. Even I've noticed this season. That's what I've liked with Eddie Nketiah. He's quick and everything. He does everything with aggression, and I like that. So I think we could get a bit carried away when we're thinking they're this really physical team. I don't think they.
Yeah, I get what you're
They
saying.
are.
I get what you're
I just
saying.
think they press with aggression.
I think where they're good is their physical attributes. They're a good side, but I think where they've done well is where they have tried to bully teams out of it. And I think the fight and the aggression's there. I'm not going to lose my head if Ben White plays today, let's just say that. But when it comes to it, if it was me, I'd play Kieran Tierney and Tomiyasu because I think defensively, Tierney's better, in my opinion, than Zinchenko. I think Zinchenko's great, but his positioning lets him down, and I believe he's got a knock today anyway. I think with Tomiyasu, I think aerially, he does exactly what Ben White does, but better in my opinion, and I think aerially he's better. So that's why I'd go Tomiyasu today.
That's fair enough. Mark with the super chat says, Gabriel will start and I want him to be 110% focused on Tony. His physical presence will cause trouble. Brentford love shooting from the middle. About 72% come from central areas around the 18-yard box. Interesting. Yeah, I think Cecil mentioned that they've scored a lot of goals from distance. So, yeah, get those blocks in.
Some of those are because of De Gea just letting them in.
What about, was it the first one that literally just went through
Yeah,
both
that
his
Gea
hands?
was-
Ramsdale be switched on. Okay?
And he better be switched on today.
Giuseppe said, need Tomiyasu to keep Ivan Toney in his pocket.
Don't give away no penalties today either, because
Oh, yeah.
that guy Tony on penalties is exceptional.
Yeah. We'll get, Nelly says, didn't you get the all black clothing memo, James? No, I'm sorry.
Clearly not.
Sorry.
Let us down, bro.
I actually haven't. Do you know what? I've got that sweatshirt. I don't know why I didn't wear it. Yeah. Freducia says Arsenal would theoretically win if they just played how they played against Crystal Palace, but the manager of the month curse is also very real. It is.
Oh yeah, that. Yeah.
But it is. Listen. The curse and all that. It was deserved for Arteta. Obviously,
Nice.
the Man United game was in September, 5 wins out of 5, and Arsenal, I thought in those 5 games, played the best football in the league.
Yeah.
In those 5, I thought they were brilliant.
Yeah.
Can't say it
I'm
wasn't.
still worried about this Odegaard thing, man. Yeah, I mean, because
What,
We're
him
gonna
being
find out
out?
in 2 minutes.
I'm hearing that's true as well, by the way. I've just got a
He's out.
message saying Vieira's going to play. I've just got a message. I don't know how true that
Is that who you'd bring in?
Well, have to, don't you?
Has to, yeah.
Has to be
Have to.
Vieira.
Well, this
Smith
is the
Rowe's
game.
out
This
as
is
well.
the game. Yeah, this
Yeah,
is the game
Smith
for
Rowe's
Vieira
out.
to turn up, innit? And show us what you can do. We spent a lot of money
Talk
on it.
about physicality. Vieira needs to get on the weights.
But
Well,
he-
Vieira-
You'll be fine, Fabio.
He looks
Have the
all right
ball.
though.
I like
in that
what I
he
see.
looked creative
game.
though, didn't he?
Yeah.
He looked like he's trying to get on the ball and create. So
Pass for the goal against the first goal against Zurich. I thought that was.
yeah.
He created
Yes,
that.
yes.
Yeah.
No, he did
Exactly.
create that. So he's been described over in Portugal as the new David Silva.
Okay.
Right?
Let's
No,
not-
sorry, not David Silva.
Bernardo.
Bernardo.
Silva.
Let's just not get that carried away.
If
yet.
he's 80% of that, though, we're all right.
Yeah.
Exactly.
Half of that,
No
right.
concerns about Odegaard being out.
Well, we're going to find out 1 minute. Giuseppe's come with a super chat, says, but Tomiyasu's link-up play with Saka is better, and he lets Saka attack more comfortably because he knows Tomiyasu is solid defensively. This is key. Do you think, is that...
Maybe.
I liked Tomiyasu and Saka last season. We haven't seen it much this season, and I think Ben White. Let's not make it out that Ben White is a weak link because that ain't fair. He's been good this season, and I think along with Xhaka, he's probably been one of the most consistent. To be fair to him, and Jesus obviously. So I think we need to give him credit where it's due. The reason I would go with Tomiyasu is not because Ben White's poor. I just think Tomiyasu would give us a little bit more of what I think we need today. I wouldn't go with Tomiyasu all the time, but today I would go with Tommy. I would, but we'll see. We'll see.
We're going to find out any second the 11 is. Ornstein has confirmed that Odegaard misses the trip.
I think I've got the teams.
You got the team?
Yeah, I've got
Is
the
it sickness or is it injury, Odegaard? We don't know.
No, it's a small issue.
I hate them.
Knock from training last weekend. Zinchenko also out with a small problem, not expected to be serious. Right,
team.
do we
This,
do with
take it
training?
away.
the team is Aaron Ramsdale in goal, Kieran Tierney, Gabriel, Ben White, William Saliba, Granit Xhaka, Thomas Partey starts, so that's
back.
great. Fabio Vieira,
Woo.
Saka, Martinelli, and Jesus. So you are right. There is no Odegaard in the starting lineup.
So no Odegaard, no Zinchenko, but we've brought in Vieira and
and
Tierney. I tell you what,
and Partey's back.
that's a level of depth we probably didn't have in certainly not last season, Charlene.
Yeah, exactly. We didn't have that at all. I mean, when we played Brentford last year, we had a depleted squad. We had players that were out with injury as well as COVID. So this is a completely different Arsenal side now, with a stronger mentality as well. So it'd be interesting to see what happens in the game.
This is going to be fascinating. Fabio Vieira getting his first, Premier League start. He came on against Man United, which surprised me actually, because I thought Odegaard was playing quite well. B, I thought the team were looking like creating chances without making the changes. But also that he actually came on and I thought made an impact. I thought looked good on the ball, created one or two nice chances, had a few shots. I thought looked good in the Zurich game. So what are you expecting from him today? Because Odegaard set a decent standard this season for him to follow up with.
Well, I think what he's brought across is assists from Portugal, hasn't he? Because he got 14 last season. So he's going to be able to create. Against a team like Brentford, who probably ain't going to, be happy to give us the load of the ball, I wouldn't have thought anyway. I always have to see what we get. I think it could be quite difficult for us to judge him on this one. But from what I've seen, glimpses at Old Trafford and Zurich, I thought he was okay. I didn't think he was as bad. A couple of people I spoke to didn't think he looked good personally. I thought he was all right. I was quite happy with what I saw.
When he came on the United, he looked all right?
Yeah, I thought he was okay. So I think we need to see more of him before little glimpses of Old Trafford and Zurich. Today's an opportunity for him. Listen, players like him, selfishly, are going to be okay that Odegaard's out, right? Because it gives him that chance to come and see what it is.
This is his chance.
See what it's about. It's his chance, and also what we can see is, I've been questioning the strength in depth. These are the sort of players that I'm happy to be coming in and showing what they're about. Players like Kieran Tierney now, that last season when he was out, we had Tavares, or we had to play Granit Xhaka there, or whatever the hell it was. We ain't got that problem now. Zinchenko's out, Tierney comes back in. That's really good. When Vieira comes in, Odegaard's out, we need that drop-off not to be too much, and that's what I'm going to be judging today, because the drop-off between Tierney and Zinchenko, for me, isn't much. The drop-off between Partey and Lokonga, or Eddie and Jesus, is quite massive for me. Yeah. So how much of a drop-off is Vieira to Odegaard? We're going to find out, man.
Shreth says, not worried about our defence apart from Zinchenko are big and quick. Okay, that might come in before the starting 11 was announced. We generally lose in midfield, where we could have got Savage or Basuna going for a 4-1 win, bounce back. Raphael says, Vieira man of the match performance today, 2 assists. Raphael's calling it. And then Raphael also asks, who will wear the armband today? Xhaka. I think it might be Jesus. Is Jesus now the official?
Granit Xhaka? Kieran
Tierney.
Tierney?
Can I just say, I don't know if this is an unpopular opinion, maybe not. I don't have a problem with Xhaka wearing it. I know the way it. I know the whole last time.
I no longer have a problem with it.
I think no longer. That's the word. Yeah.
Previously, I no longer have a problem with it.
Yeah, that's what it is.
I like him. I like the way he's playing, but I wouldn't give him the armband ever again. That's just me.
But he shows them leadership skills as well. Like when we saw in the All or Nothing documentary, I think he was a lot more vocal than a lot of the other players, and that's what we need.
Odegaard is our captain. I've still yet to hear him speak yet. I've watched it all and he still hasn't said anything. Odegaard, I mean, he's a mute, isn't he? But Kieran Tierney for me, man. Give it to him.
The subs, by the way, is Turner, Tomiyasu, Holding, Sousa, Lokonga, Smith, and then Anuaneri, I hope I pronounce it right. And he's only 15, isn't he? He's 15-year-old. Marquinhos and Eddie Nketiah. So the bench is not that strong, is it? A lot of players missing a 15-year-old on the bench.
We're 7 games in and we've got a 15-year-old on the bench.
I mean, listen,
ain't even got his NI number.
It's fantastic for him.
Oh yeah, great for the lad.
15, but I've not really heard of him before.
Who's Sousa? Who's that?
Sousa's a left back. I think we signed him from West Brom.
Yeah.
Oh, that guy, the young lad we bought in January. Yeah, right.
And just to give you Brentford's team, that's Raya, Hickey, Janssen, me, Henry, Ajer, Janelt, Jensen, Embuemo, Tony, and De Silva. So that's
sounds like a 5-3-2 or 3-5.
De Silva's an interesting one today. Obviously, he's played for Arsenal, didn't he? And
he scored a very good goal against Leicester.
Good player.
Leicester on Man U.
Both.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, did score it. Although De Gea kind of gave him that.
Rico Henry's a good player as well.
Yeah,
I think
good left back.
There was some people saying that he should have had a shout for getting into the England team. So, but listen, obviously the Odegaard things. It's a big miss. He's been integral to what we've been doing. But this is why we bought Fabio Vic, £34 million.
Yeah.
So, this should be an able deputy. I want to see him You know, it costs more than Odegaard. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So I want to see.
Oh my God, he did.
I want to see what he does today. I mean, you know, it could be like, you know, it could be one of them games where we all get really excited and say, "Wow, look what we've got." I hope so.
Well, he would
I hope we don't
answer-
need to use our bench. That's all I'm saying.
Well, it depends.
It's
You know,
a-
it could be 5-0 up, and it's like put the 15-year-old
Bring on-
on.
Yeah, exactly, let him get
You know
some
what I mean? For the
minutes.
last 5 minutes, that would
I
be
mean,
great.
it is.
That would be a wonderful story, wouldn't it?
There is a real lack of depth on that bench.
Oh,
isn't there?
it's worrying,
We
isn't
saw
it?
it end of last season, but I kind of forgave them because I knew it was the run into the end of the Premier League, and you're kind of only going to really play the same 13, 14 players. But there's something about, you know, it's the start of the season, and we've got some injuries, not loads. And, you know, I mean, all due respect, it's a great opportunity for Nwaneri, Sousa, Smith as well. But if we're looking to change this game round, I trust Eddie. I mean, Marquinhos, interesting one. See how
Yeah,
he
he
does.
looks good.
You know.
For me, that's the only exciting sub we got for me, Marquinhos. Because
Yeah.
as much as Eddie runs
Eddie's
around
exciting for me.
incensing, I'd like to see him,
Eddie's
like
been
to see him
exciting
score a
for me.
Premier League goal.
Yeah,
Ed-
he needs to score.
Eddie for
But it's-
me, yeah.
He's only been getting like 5-10
He
minutes
has,
here
he
and
has.
there, innit? So
And it's
Yes.
a bit hard for him to come off the bench if he's only got 5-10 minutes
is,
and
it
really
is
have a
hard, that's
massive
fair,
that's
impact
fair.
on the
and the
game.
other day when he started, he scored.
He scored, yeah, he
So-
scored.
And assisted Marquinhos.
I've seen some
as well.
development from him
Yeah.
and some progress in Eddie's game, but yeah, it's not like a sub you think, right, we need to score, we're going to score now, Eddie's
Yeah,
come on.
yeah, yeah,
You
I
know what I'm saying? So for me, it's a worry. It's a worry when Brentford's bench is stronger than Arsenal's, that's all I'll say.
Are you guys majorly concerned? Because don't forget, we've got a lot more games this season as well. And
Maybe
you know,
7 games in and we've got this bench.
Well, we've got, listen, what I'd say as well, right, is that, like what James said, though, earlier, is that not showing strength in depth that, you know, Partey's back, right? So that's strength, right? All right, Odegaard's missing, but there's strength in depth that you can bring it in Vieira, who should be, obviously, might not be
In
at his
certain
level,
positions, he's
right?
better.
So that's
Yeah.
strength.
Yeah.
You know, we were on about Ben White and Tomiyasu, that's strength, you know. Zinchenko's missing. You know, Tierney, that's strength.
I think what it
so
is.
there are a lot of
It's the
areas that
certain
we've
positions, though,
improved.
that we're weak,
We've
yeah.
improved. I think the one is
Midfield.
and I do feel that I've always said it right from the start of the window. I do think we should have brought a different type of striker in, just like someone with
100%.
with a plan B type striker.
Different
that we
profile.
Could, yeah, you know,
Dimension, like a Giroud dimension. Like
yeah,
someone
like
to
a
bring on.
Mitrovic.
Yeah,
Would it be,
yeah,
you
yeah.
know,
I
that
think
type of player.
Arteta's
Or an Ivan
thing,
Toney.
though-
There you go.
I'd have loved all that, but I think Arteta's thing is that when there's an actual injury to Jesus and this striker's got to start, he doesn't want to compromise the whole
Yeah.
plan. I think that's what it is.
And Martinelli could play as a striker as well, I guess. You could say.
I think
So,
he is long term
yeah,
as
yeah.
centre forward.
You know what it is with the depth? It's last season. I think we had 12, maybe at best 13 players that Arteta trusted. Whereas I think now we've got 15, 16. So like it's not. We don't have 2 players for every position that can just start and nothing
Yeah.
changes. We've just added 3 or 4 that I think now. You know, if Saliba were injured, White goes to centre back, Tomiyasu right back, and then that's last season's best back 4. And suddenly we're going, oh, but there's no Saliba, Zinchenko. What are we going to do?
Let me ask you this,
So
right?
yeah.
When everyone's fit, every single player at Arsenal's fit, who are the 5 subs coming on that you're going, oh, yeah, I'm happy with that?
Okay.
Who are they?
Smith Rowe,
Smith Rowe,
Right, that's a good one.
Vieira.
yeah, Vieira.
I would put Eddie in there. I like Eddie. He has changed
Eddie.
my mind.
Okay,
Tomiyasu, Tierney, they're the 5, I think.
Yeah.
okay.
So but then beyond that, there's not a lot.
What do we do after? That's what I'm getting
Yeah,
at.
and even
because
then-
Marquinhos, I think, could be the one that I look at now and think I'm looking forward to what he can do. I was
Yeah.
really impressed with him, like really impressed. And it weren't just his pace and dribbling; his crossing was exceptional.
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
So for
Fantastic
me,
delivery, yeah.
I'm looking at him now, thinking I'd probably be more excited by him coming on than I would Eddie,
Yeah.
Oh, wow.
personally.
Fair enough.
So-
Fair enough. All right, guys. Well, that is the starting 11. Let's just run through it one more time. Ramsdale starts in goal. I think I've got it in my head. Ben White, Saliba, Gabriel, and Tierney comes in for Zinchenko. He's got a knock as well. Partey returns with Xhaka. Vieira starts over Odegaard, who's got a minor injury. Saka, Martinelli, and Gabriel Jesus up front.
Subs.
Good luck.
Shall I try? Hold on. Because it's actually on the start.
Well, I'll test you on the subs.
Hold on. Turner,
Yep.
Sousa, Tomiyasu, Holding,
Yeah.
Lokonga,
Yeah.
Nwaneri, Smith, Marquinhos and Ketia.
Hey, well done, man.
That's impressive. Look at that.
James has switched on today.
I can't give you 7 times 3, but I could remember the
And what about
Arsenal.
the Brentford bench?
Yeah.
I mean,
remember the Arsenal
like
under-
starting
Yeah,
11.
You missed out Hackney Fred, he's on the bench as well. We're struggling.
2-1 win for me.
2-1 win Arsenal, yeah.
Okay. Yeah.
I was actually going to go 2-1 as well.
Look at that. Thought you'd
I'm
get full house.
going 2-0.
Oh,
Arsenal win.
Charlotte. To ruin it.
Then we'd all trade in Arsenal.
I hope she's right. I hope she's
Yeah,
right.
absolutely, I would. Remember, guys, go check out Sanucci. The link is in the description below. Show them again what you got.
I had to put mine in because they was rubbing on my microphone, they told me. But here it is.
Actually goes so well with the away cap.
Yeah, I love it.
And the ring as well. And hopefully, we bring it home today, man.
Go check out the link is in the description below. They do other clubs as well. I know you're all Arsenal fans here enjoying that. But if there is a couple Chelsea fans or whatever, they're wanting to find out how we're feeling about that bench, don't worry, we're feeling good. Go check out Sanucci. They might have some stuff for your club as well. All right, guys, we're going to leave it there. We'll join you, in about 20 minutes for the watch-along. So we'll see you then.
If you're an AFTV regular, you would have seen us rocking these brilliant Sanucci officially licensed pendants here representing Arsenal. They also do them for several other teams, so make sure you check it out. But you know what they got? They got a brand new range which is on fire. The new Sanucci rings. Love it. Check the link in the description to get your Sanucci range right now, and you know the best ones are the Arsenal.